Titingnan natin itong thermochemistry and chemical kinetics. Dito papasok yung mga konsepto ng heat, work, energy, at saka yung rate of reaction or kung gaano kabilis nangyari ang isang reaction. Simulan natin sa question na to. Which of the following is a form of energy transfer due to temperature difference? Letter A, heat. Letter B, work. Letter C, enthalpy. And letter D, activation, energy. Ang pinakamahalaga sa atin dito, energy transfer. Tsaka itong temperature difference. Okay? Ang sagot natin dito sa question na to ay letter A, heat. So, tingnan muna natin yung mga symbols na ginagamit natin sa mga variables na ito. Sa heat, ginagamit natin ay Q. Sa work, W. Enthalpy, H. And then activation energy, E sub A. Okay? Now, ano yung heat? Ang heat, based nga dito sa definition, energy transfer due to temperature difference. No, mahalaga na makita natin na merong temperature difference. For example, meron kang hotter object, tapos merong cooler object. Yung direction ng energy is always from the hotter towards the cooler object. Ibig sabihin, doon sa mas mataas na temperature, papunta doon sa mas mababang temperature. Ito yung direction ng energy flow. Okay? Now, ano yung mga units na ginagamit natin sa heat? Usually, ginagamit natin dyan yung joules. Okay? At saka yung calories. Okay? Try nating i-illustrate itong heat. For example, nagpapakulo ka ng tubig. Okay? Siyempre, mainit to. Dahil mainit yan, mataas yung temperature sa loob. Pero yung surrounding niya, relatively, mas mababa yung temperature. So, yung energy flow is from this one outside. Okay? Yun yung energy flow. Another example, kung merong pan, no, tapos hinawakan mo siya, tapos mainit pala siya. So, may initan ka dyan, no? Mapapasok ka. Kasi yung direction ng energy is from the pan, yung sa handle niya, papunta sa kamay mo. Okay? So, yan yung konsepto ng heat. Now, ang work naman, ito, energy transfer din siya, but because of the force acting on the object over a distance. No? So, kaya yung formula na ginagamit natin sa work is basically force times displacement. Okay? So, this is not due to temperature difference. Okay? Again, ang work is not due to temperature difference. Alright? And then you have enthalpy. Ang enthalpy naman, ito yung total heat content of the system. Okay? At a constant pressure. So again, ang enthalpy, in itself, it's not really an energy transfer. Okay? Pero yung changes dyan sa enthalpy, kapag may change in enthalpy, delta H yung ginagamit natin, pwede yung mag-reflect ng heat exchange at a constant pressure. But then again, ang definition natin for enthalpy is that ito yung total heat content of a system at a constant pressure. Okay? And then yung activation energy naman, ito yung, ang definition kasi ng activation energy, yung minimum amount of energy na required para mangyari yung isang chemical reaction. Okay? So, hindi siya heat transfer. Siya energy barrier doon sa mga reactions. Okay? Ito yung kailangang ma-reach ng mga reaction para mangyari yung isang chemical reaction. Activation energy. Next, question number 2. In an exothermic reaction, which of the following is true? Letter A, heat is absorbed from surroundings. Letter B, delta H is positive. Letter C, heat is released to surroundings. Letter D, system temperature decreases. May gusto akong mapansin natin dun sa mga options. Tingnan nyo yung A at C. Heat is absorbed from surroundings. Heat is released to surroundings. Opposite sila, tama? So, ibig sabihin, maalin dyan sa dalawang tama. Tatanggalin nyo na agad yung B at saka D. Okay? Now, may gusto akong malaman natin patungkol sa exothermic at saka yung isa pa endothermic reactions. Kailangan mo nang alam natin yung konsepto ng system at saka surroundings. Okay? For example, meron akong isang glass. Okay? May takip yan. And then, meron akong solution inside. Ito yung system ko. Yung surrounding ko, yung labas. Okay? Let's say mainit tong nasa loob. Mainit siya, no? Ano nga yung direction ng flow of heat natin from higher temperature to lower temperature. Ibig sabihin, from the system to the surrounding. Kapag ganyan yung nangyayari, ang tawag natin sa reaction, exothermic. Okay, exothermic. So, ang sagot natin dito ay letter C. Heat is released to surroundings. Ano naman yung opposite? For example, meron pa rin akong solution. Ito yung system ko. Ito yung surrounding. Kapag yung heat is from the surrounding to the system, ang tawag na natin dyan, endothermic reaction. Okay? So, ang sagot natin dito, letter C, heat is released to surroundings. So, tingnan natin, ito yung pinagkaiba nila, endothermic reaction, nag-absorb ng heat. Exothermic reaction, nagre-release ng heat. Kaya kapag exothermic, ang tatandaan natin dito ay X, kasi exit. Okay? Papalabas siya. So, ang observation natin dito sa exothermic reaction, ano nangyayari doon sa surrounding? Yung surrounding, nagiging warmer. Okay? Kasi nga yung heat tina-transfer out of the system. Okay? Now, gusto ko ring tingnan natin yung enthalpy dito. Ang enthalpy change dito, negative. Okay? So, ang ibig sabihin yan, negative. Kaya nga less than 0 kasi negative. Okay? So, again, tatandaan natin, kapag exothermic reaction, ang observation natin, yung surrounding magiging warmer kasi nagre-release ng heat yung system papunta doon sa surrounding. Ang example natin dyan, yung combustion reaction. Okay? Combustion. Gaya nito, combustion reaction. Okay? And then yung neutralization usually, no? Neutralization ng acid at saka ng base. Like for example, yung reaction ng hydrochloric acid at saka yung sodium hydroxide to produce sodium chloride and water. Mga exothermic reaction sila. Okay? So now, ano naman yung mga endothermic reactions? Siyempre, sila yung opposite. Anong ginagawa? Yung reaction or yung system nag-absorb ng heat. Okay? Nag-absorb ng heat from the surrounding. Kaya, ano yung observation natin? Yung surrounding, nagiging cooler. Okay? So, ano yung delta H niyan? Ang delta H niyan, positive. Okay? Again, yung change in enthalpy is positive. Ano example natin ng endothermic reaction? Photosynthesis. Okay? So, yan. Now, next question tayo. Number 3, a 50-gram sample of water absorbs 1,000 joules of heat. What is the approximate temperature rise? Okay? So, ang tinatanong sa atin dito, ano daw yung temperature rise kapag meron tayong 50-gram sample of water, nag-absorb siya ng 1,000 joules of heat. Meron tayong isang important formula na kailangang matandaan sa thermochemistry. Q is equal to mc delta T. So now, anong ibig sabihin nitong formula na to? Ang Q na yan, ito yung heat. Okay? Yung M, this is the mass. Given na yung mass natin, 50 grams. Gagamitin natin dyan palagi ay grams. Yung C, ito yung specific heat capacity. Okay? Ano yung specific heat capacity dyan? In terms of water, ang palagi nyong tatandaan na value is 4.18 joules per degree Celsius gram. Okay? So, yan yung tatandaan natin. And then, delta T is the change in temperature. Ibig sabihin, yung final temperature minus the initial temperature. At ang hinahanap natin dyan, itong delta T. Kaya nga, approximate temperature rise. Okay? So, isulat ulit natin yung formula. Q is equal to mc delta T. Yung Q natin, ano ang value niya? Ang value ng Q natin is, ito, 1,000 joules. Yung M natin is 50 grams. Yung C natin is 4.18. And then yung delta T natin na hinahanap. Ngayon, kapag gantong mga question, tingnan nyo yung mga options, hindi naman nila nire-require yung mga decimals, di ba? Kasi nga, bawal gumamit ng calculator. Ganito yung gawin natin. So, i-rewrite ko lang siya ng mas maganda, no? Meron akong 1,000 is equal to 50 times, instead na 4.18, isulat nyo na lang yung 4. Diba? And then you have delta T. 50 times 4, 200. 200, and then matitira pa rin si delta T sa kabila, Copy nyo si 1,000. Divide nyo ng 200 both sides. Cancel, cancel. Okay. So, meron kang 1,000 divided by 200. Anong sagot? 5. Yan yung sagot. Ito, letter D. Okay, so that is the answer. Letter D, 5 degrees Celsius. Next, number 4. Which of the following increases the rate of a chemical reaction according to collision theory? Letter A, decreasing concentration. Letter B, lowering temperature. Letter C, using larger particle size. Letter D, adding a catalyst. Okay, ngayon, dito na papasok yung collision theory. Basically, ang sinasabi ng collision theory, paano ba mangyayari ang isang chemical reaction? Ano ba yung mga requirement natin sa chemical reaction? Okay? Ngayon na alam na natin yung mga requirement ng chemical reaction, tingnan din natin ano naman yung makaka-apekto dun sa bilis ng chemical reaction. Ito yung tinatanong sa number 4. Kaya nga, rate of a chemical reaction, ano yung mag-i-increase or yung magpapabilis, no, sa mga rate of chemical reaction? Tingnan natin yung letter A, decreasing concentration. Actually, ang totoo dyan, kapag mas mataas ang concentration, mas marami kang mga particles. So, mas maraming collision. Mas maraming particles na magko-collide. Mas mabilis yung reaction niyan. So, mali yung letter A. Okay? So, tingnan natin yung letter B. Lowering temperature. Ang temperature, again, related dyan sa kinetic energy. Okay? At ang tama dyan dapat ay ganito. Kapag tinaasan natin yung temperature, mas mabilis yung mga particles gumalaw kasi mas malaki yung kinetic energy nila. Okay? Dahil mas mabilis sila, mas maraming collision. Mas maraming collision, mas marami yung mga potential, no, na successful collisions that will produce chemical reaction. Okay? So yung letter B natin is also wrong. Okay? Tingnan natin yung letter C. Using larger particle size. Okay? Itong particle size naman, related siya doon sa surface area. Okay? So, dito papasok yung konsepto ng surface area. Kapag mas maliliit yung mga particles natin, mas maraming surface area ang exposed. Okay? Kaya mas mabilis ang reaction. So, yung letter C natin is mali. Okay? So, ang pinakantamang sagot natin dito ay letter D, adding a catalyst. Okay? Ang catalyst, ito yung nagpapabilis ng reaction. Okay? Basta yun yung tandaan natin na catalyst, it makes the reaction go faster. Okay? By definition, ang ginagawa talaga ng catalyst ay it lowers the activation energy by providing an alternative pathway for the reaction. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin ng lowers activation energy? Di ba sabi natin kanina, yung activation energy, ito yung energy barrier na kailangang ma-overcome para mangyari yung isang chemical reaction. Kung pinababa na yan ng catalyst, di konti na lang yung energy na kailangan. Tama. At dahil dyan, mas mabilis na yung reaction. Okay? So, ang sagot natin ay letter D, adding a catalyst. Because again, ang ginagawa niya, it lowers activation energy. Okay, so again, ang collision theory, sabi niya, reactions occur when particles collide with proper orientation and energy. So, ipapakita ko yung itsura niya. Ayan. So, this one is in terms of collision. Okay? So, as you can see, kapag reaction ng nitrogen monoxide and ozone, kapag ganito yung orientation nila, hindi successful. Kaya nga, ineffective siya. Pero kapag tama yung orientation nila, okay, tama yung mga position, saka nagkakaroon ng successful collision. Okay? Now, ano yung requirement natin para mangyari ang isang chemical reaction according to the collision theory? Number 1, syempre, kailangan mag-collide sila. Okay? Kailangan mag-collide yung mga reactant molecules natin, kahit atoms pa yan or ions or molecules, dapat physically magbabump sila sa isa't isa. Okay? Number 2, kailangan proper orientation. Okay? Nag-collide nga sila, mali naman yung orientation, di mangyayari yung chemical reaction. Okay? So, dapat proper yung orientation. And number 3, dapat enough yung energy nila. Okay? Dapat sufficient yung energy nila. Dapat meron silang sapat na kinetic energy para ma-overcome nila yung activation energy. Okay? Again, 3 requirement para mangyari ang isang chemical reaction. Number 1, dapat physically magko-collide sila. Number 2, dapat nasa tama silang orientation. Number 3, dapat meron silang sapat na kinetic energy para ma-overcome yung activation energy. Okay? So, next tayo. Ayan, tingnan naman natin yung mga factors na nakakaapekto sa rate of reaction. Number 1, concentration of reactants. Anong sabi natin kanina? Kapag mas mataas ang concentration, mas marami kang particles doon sa given volume. Kapag mas maraming particles, mas madami yung collisions. Pag mas marami yung collisions, mas malaki yung chance na may mga magre-react. So, mas mabilis yung rate of reaction. Okay? Next tayo, temperature. Anong sabi natin kanina? Pag mas mataas ang temperature, ibig sabihin, mas mabilis yung mga particles. Mag-i-increase yung velocity nila. Dahil mas mabilis sila, mas marami rin yung collisions. Kapag mas marami yung collisions, mag-i-increase ang rate of reaction. Next, we have catalyst. So, ang catalyst, again, anong ginagawa niya? It lowers the activation energy. Okay? Kapag mas mababa na yung activation energy, yung mga particles, konti na lang yung energy na kailangan nila para mag-react. So, mas maraming collisions ang magiging successful. So, ano yung mga examples natin nitong mga catalyst? Dito papasok yung mga biological catalyst, specifically ang tawag natin sa kanila, enzymes. Okay? Ang mga enzymes natin sa katawan, marami tayo niyan. Sila yung nagpapabilis ng mga reaction. Kung wala yan, kawawa tayo. Okay? And then, particle size. So, ang gusto natin is smaller particle size para mas mataas yung surface area. Mas maraming area ang exposed. No? So, more area ang available para sa collisions. Mas mabilis ang reaction. Okay? So, those are the factors affecting the rate of reaction. Next tayo, number 5, which term represents the minimum energy particles must have to react? Sinabi na natin kanina, ano yung minimum energy? The answer is letter A, activation energy. Okay, so again, activation energy is the minimum energy needed to break bonds and form products. Okay? Parang ganito yan. Pwede mong isipin yan na bundok or burol. Ito yung kailangan maakyat mo, ma-overcome mo para makapunta ka dito. So, ito yung mga side ng reactants. Ito yung side ng mga products. Okay? So, yung mga particles na merong energy na mas mababa, okay? Mas mababa doon sa activation energy. Magba-bounce lang sila. Hindi sila mag-react. Okay? So, ayan, it determines the reaction speed. Higher activation energy, mas mabagal ang reaction. Okay, kaya nga nandyan ang mga catalyst. Ang ginagawa ng catalyst, pinapababa nila yung activation energy. At syempre, mas mababa yung activation energy, mas mabilis yung reaction. Okay, mas marami kasing particles yung ma-overcome yung energy barrier. Okay? So, catalyst lower activation energy without changing the enthalpy. So, again, yan ang ginagawa ng catalyst. Pinapabilis nila yung reaction by providing an alternative pathway na mas mababa yung activation energy. Tandaan natin, ang mga catalyst, okay, they are not consumed in the reaction. Okay, hindi nako-consume ang mga catalyst in the reaction. Next, number 6, which statement is true for an endothermic reaction? Letter A, heat flows from the system to the surroundings. Letter B, delta H is negative. Letter C, the system absorbs heat. And letter D, the reaction occurs spontaneously only. Okay, so kaparehas pa rin nung previous na question natin, no, na yung letter A at C, opposite. Ibig sabihin, etong B and D, cancel na. Alam din naman natin na yung delta H sa endothermic reaction is positive. Okay? So, tingnan natin. Yung sinasabi ng letter A, ang direction ng energy, yung heat niya, is from the system to the surrounding. Kung meron akong system, ito daw yan. Alam natin, kapag ganyan ang direction, system to surrounding, this is exothermic. Okay, so letter A is also wrong. Ang tamang sagot ay letter C. The system absorbs heat. Okay, so again, endothermic reaction absorbs heat. Yung surroundings, it feels colder. Okay, so ang delta H natin again is positive. Example, photosynthesis, and then evaporation. Although ang evaporation, o pwede rin kasi nating isipin itong mga phase changes in terms of heat exchanges. Okay? So like yung mga evaporation, condensation, etc. So may separate video tayo about that.